Hello all. The purpose of this video today is to just give you an idea of how we will interact with our Canvas modules during this course. So obviously when you sign in, your dashboard is going to look a little bit different than mine. Depending on how many classes or how many groups that you're involved in that will use Canvas, you will have a little graphic here that represents that course. If I were to publish everything I'm in, this would fill up the screen. So I try to do my best to keep my screen and dashboard as clear as possible so I can see definitely what I need to be looking at. If you have multiple things on Canvas, that is something you can adjust by going through your settings. Make sure that you don't take anything off your dashboard that is relevant to any of the classes in which you are enrolled in. So this is your class. So you're going to click on that, of course, and then we'll open it up. Now, once we're inside the class, I arrange this class by modules. You will have some professors who arrange their class by pages. As far as how you as a student would interact with that, those who use pages can talk to you more about how theirs will be set up. But for mine, each little gray area here that you see, it can be a drop-down menu or can be collapsed. For me, that is a module. In other words, it's a group of materials, assignments, discussions I've put together for whatever reason. Usually in this class, that's going to be because it's organized by whatever we're going to be working on for that week. The only exception to that, of course, is the first module, which is some introductory information to the class. Okay. I also tend to put things up here that students might use throughout the term. So say, for example, there's a website I want you to constantly have access to. I will put it up here in this introductory or general module, just because that way you don't have to dig back through previous weeks to kind of figure out where something was. If there is some article, some website, something important I want you to be able to see, I'm probably going to put it up here so that it's easy to find and it's easy to get to consistently. Okay, so now what would we find in here? You will notice has some little icons as you go down the side here. This is a page. Usually pages in this class for me just communicate information. So if you see a page, it's probably going to have either some instructional information, maybe some text from me, maybe a video, maybe a link to something you're going to find there. You can also see this one that looks like the attachment symbol. Okay, that means that's a file. This is particularly a document file. It's your course syllabus. So whenever you want to access that, you need to look back at something. This is where you would click. And then, of course, this looks like it has little conversation bubbles, and that's because this is a discussion. Whenever you see one of those, that means there's going to be a reply that's required for you. And the due date for that, you see directly beneath it. Here's due date, and this is, of course, what it's worth. So let's kind of work our way through this module. Of course, we can always get to here by clicking home. It will bring us back to this page. And we can click on any individual part of the module, but we also can start at the beginning and work our way through. So let's kind of start there. This is where our class begins. We'll give you time to look through that on your own. There's a little blurb about me, what we need to know about the first day of class. Hopefully you've already seen that. What you need for this class, of course, information about your text, network access, some sort of organizational binder notebook, and some sort of scanner or scanning applications. You can get those for your phone or your tablet if you don't want to purchase or cannot purchase an actual scanner to upload things. Okay, in terms of contacting me, you got to do that through your GC email. I recognize that Canvas has a message option, but I would like to do my best to discourage us from using that. Just because when we have messages appearing in GC email and in the campus message box, sometimes students send them to one, don't send them to the other. I do have my Canvas set up that if someone sends it to Canvas, it's supposed to forward it to email, but there have been times when that has not happened or it has somehow appeared in my other folder. So it would be my preference that you would use GC email if you're going to try to contact me when we're not face-to-face in class. Okay, one thing else that you're going to see on here is, of course, your group assignments. Those group assignments determine what days per week that you are to attend class. Group 1, which is those 14 people listed, will attend on Monday, Tuesdays in person. Group 2 will attend on Tuesdays and Fridays in person. Obviously, no one will attend on Wednesdays in person. That does not mean that the days that you do not attend, that you have a free day. There will always be work assigned for every particular day. The only exception would be Wednesday. It's used as sort of a catch-up day. Pretty much there will be 2 firm due dates in the course. You're going to be looking at a due date on Wednesday, which usually is going to handle everything that you should have accomplished within Monday or Tuesday's class meetings or videos you viewed, such things like that. And Friday, which of course would be kind of the end of the line. There may be times when I also put due dates on Sundays. That would be maybe something that I don't feel like you need to have submitted until the weekend, but you're always welcome to submit that on Friday. Okay, so you'll notice I have a little next button down here, so you can click on that and move forward to the next part of the module. This is Student Services tab. Okay, so right now you may not know what you need help with, but as you work through the course, that's going to be something that you will absolutely think from time to time. Oh, I need help with this. I don't know who to contact or where to get a hold of them. This is a good tab to look. There's lots of information here. You can get Canvas technical support. If you need to know how to do something on Canvas, you can always ask me, but for the best response and the most knowledgeable response, Canvas technical support is there for you. Accessibility and accommodations, the library, the LRC, the Learning Resource Center, the registrar, student support services, wellness, all of these links are here, how to get help from tutoring. So that's all available to you, and it will stay in that general module so that you can access it when you need to, or if you need to. Okay, of course, this next link is your syllabus. You can view the syllabus just by scrolling down here. If you want to save a copy of the syllabus, in other words, like if you want to access it when you're not on the internet, you would want to click on this download and then save it on your hard drive or jump drive. All right, then that comes to your very first assignment, which is this video that you're watching. When I complete this video, it's going to be posted here, and then there's going to be a discussion question for you to respond to. That basically lets me know you've watched the video, that you are clear with how Canvas operates, and that you don't have any questions. If you can successfully get that posted, then I consider you well on your way to beginning with Canvas. Okay. Now, if we click next, it is going to go ahead, since that's the end of the first module, and it's going to automatically take me into the second one. But instead, I want to show you, if you click back for home, you're going to reorient here to the main page. I can always collapse these modules whenever I feel like doing so. You'll notice that on my module for week 1, there are 2 sets here that are not green. That just means they're not published. If I were to look at this in student view, that would mean you cannot yet see it. If I have not published it, it would not be visible to you. And that's because I don't want you to look at any assignments just yet. I want you to focus on getting into the class and getting oriented. Okay, so every week you will notice that you have a module that is organized by dates. Dates usually go from Monday to Sunday. At the beginning of every week, there's going to be a weekly overview. Now, in the beginning, I'm going to make these very detailed, pretty much a day-by-day synopsis of what needs to be done and what you should be thinking about. As we get further on in the course, that may be less detailed. The reason for adding all these details right now is very many of you are first-time freshmen. Very many of you who are not first-time freshmen are used to a completely different routine in terms of the flow of a class. Obviously, this semester is different in terms of the time that we have paced and the way our classes will meet. So until you develop your new normal for what your routine is going to look like, hopefully this will help you do that. Okay, so you'll notice that each collection of days here is grouped by Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. That's because group 1 will be thinking about this on Monday, group 2 will be thinking about this on Tuesday, and so forth. You'll notice that there is also a looking forward statement. That basically means that once you've wrapped up this week, there may be something in next week's module that you will need to take a look at. Okay. For this, it's going to be an instructional video that will need to be viewed before group 1 comes back into class on Monday or group 2 comes back into class on Tuesday. Okay. Once we click next, We'll be moving on to self-introduction. This is something else that you need to be able to post by Wednesday. Just a little bit about you. We're all going to be in this class together. We'll be spending time together. There may be very limited interactions between you among your groups. So it's very important that we at least have the ability to have some interaction with each other. And we're going to start with that by doing a self-introduction. So again, that's also due on Wednesday. Again, how do you know that something is due? It has a due date underneath it. We'll also have a point value, okay? Anything that does not have a due date or a point value underneath it it's probably not an assignment, okay? It's not something that you're going to have to turn in. I'm not saying that it's not something that you don't have to do. It's just something that is not going to require a submission on Canvas unless you see a due date and a point value, okay? Sometimes things will have to be submitted, but the points may come on a later assignment. We may submit things in steps, kind of like if this was a language arts class, it would be like a rough draft and then a final draft. The points for everything would be on your final draft, but you'd have to submit the rough draft first, that kind of a thing. So the reason this says multiple due dates is because when these get posted, your individual group's due date will be what shows, okay? Again, because we meet in class at different times, it makes sense that we might have slightly different due dates for when we submit things and when we work on those. So I hope that helps clarify a little bit about how Canvas will work. This is not meant to be a end-all be-all lecture about Canvas, just enough to get you started. As we go further on through the term, we will add more detail and a little bit more instruction and more help as we go on through Canvas and through all of your course materials.